Hey cutie pies, I'm Lanikia and you're watching another edition of What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Bold and the Beautiful for today is Monday, April the 25th, 2022. Alright, so let's just jump right into it. We see that Steffi is still, it's a new day. And Baker has come back to the hospital to question Steffi because she was making progress and I guess they had to take a break or something. So it's a new day. And Ridge and Baker go in and they're asking Steffi, does she remember what happened? And again, it's all fuzzy and blurry to her. So she's kind of remembering, but she's not. And then we see Sheila slip into the back of the room. Sorry. And so Steffi is just like, Sheila? And they're like, what? And so they turn around and Sheila is there. And Steffi's like, why is she doing here? After all the pain she's caused our family, why is she here? And so Ridge tells Sheila, you need to leave. And she says, okay, I understand. And she says, Steffi, I'm more sorry than you will ever know. And Sheila leaves the room. Now, after this, they keep questioning her, but Sheila says, I'm so sorry. Steffi says, I'm so sorry. I just cannot remember. And so they tell her, that's okay. You know, as we'll give you some more time and we'll come back and question you on another day. And that's what Baker tells Ridge. And so then Baker leaves and he tells Sheila, I need to talk to you. And she's like, yes. And he says, after I know about your violent history and after everything that you've done to this family, I'm surprised they let you be around. And of course, Sheila plays a sympathy card by telling him, I lost my son. I am his biological mother and I lost my son and everything. And, you know, I want justice for whoever, you know, did this. And Baker, of course, he backs off of Sheila, but he does tell her that, you know, I'm sorry about your son, he says, but we're trying to find out who did this to them. And he also lets her know that he'll be questioning her later on, like he'll have a few more questions for her. And she was like, okay. So then on the inside, we see Ridge talking to Steffi, and he tells her, it's okay that you can't remember right now. You know, just take your time with your memory and it'll come back. Now, while this is going on in another lobby, we have Taylor who is there. And Brooke, Hope, and Liam come up and they ask her any change and she says no change. So then here goes Brooke once again talking about, well, how long are we supposed to let her go on thinking that Liam is her husband? And Taylor said she just regained consciousness yesterday. Like they are literally like all over Taylor to tell Steffi about it. Tell Steffi about Finn. And now they're trying to play on the, well, she doesn't remember Hayes and he needs his mommy and all that. Yes, he does, but he needs his mommy healthy, whole, and happy. Like you don't know what would happen to her if you tell her what's going on. So anyways, Hope chimes in and she says, well, don't you think that not telling her and everything is actually not helping? And Taylor once again lets them know nobody's going to upset Steffi. She's in a fragile mental condition and nobody's going to tell her anything. Point back and to the period. Like she's just like, y'all not telling her stuff. And so she leaves them or whatever and she goes in with Ridge and Steffi. And so it's Ridge and Steffi and they're just talking and she tells them, I'm so sorry, I can't remember. And Taylor again tells them that, tells her it's okay. Like you didn't have any memory. You just woke up. Now you're seeing like fuzziness and she kind of knows where she is. And she says, well, and Steffi tells her, well, I don't know if I'm remembering or if I'm just making myself see that because of what you guys and Baker have told, the detective has told me. So they just tell her, get some rest, and we'll follow back up with you or whatever. And she says, yes, because I can't wait to go home with my husband and Kelly. And so they leave out and Ridge is just like, oh my gosh. And Taylor says, she's making progress, and we just have to be patient with her. He's like, but how long do we have to let her live in this fantasy? And she says, I don't know. Like right now she's too fragile to know the truth about what happened to Finn and everything. And he was like, yeah. So he says, let me go buy you a cup of coffee. So he goes and she says, okay. So they get on the elevator. Now, when they hop on the elevator, Sheila comes from wherever she was at. Sheila comes through and she sees them go in the elevator. So she goes into the room with Steffi. Now, while this is going on, Taylor has left, of course, so that gives Brooke a chance to say, okay, now that we're alone, how could you possibly think this is okay? And so Hope and Brooke tag team Liam and say, someone needs to tell her, like, this is not good. Think about Hayes. And they're using Hayes again on Liam, and they said someone has to tell her the truth. And they said, and Hope was like, and I know who that someone would be. And he says Ridge, and she says Liam. So they want him to go into the hospital and tell the truth. Like, I'm telling y'all, if something happens to Steffi because they tell the truth, Ridge is never going to forgive Brooke for this. Like, God, what are you doing? And Liam is not going to forgive Hope for that either. They're not going to forgive you for this. And these men on this soap, like, y'all need some backbone. Tell her, like, she just woke up. Give her a minute. So that's going on or whatever. And then we go to Quinn and Eric. So Quinn and Eric are in the office, and he's just telling her how worried he is about Steffi and everything that's going on there. And the killer is just still on the loose, and he can't even believe it. And that was the theme through all this, that they want to get whoever this killer is off the streets, because everyone's thinking this is just some random robbery. And so Quinn says, I know you're so worried about her, but everything's going to be okay. And then Carter comes in, right? And so when Carter comes in, he just says, he starts talking to Eric and Quinn. And he says, Eric said, oh, you didn't expect me to be in here. And he was like, it's cool or whatever. He was just like, I just came to check on everything, and they tell him, they said no update on Steffi. She's awake and everything, but no further updates. And so Quinn is just like, because she had told Eric earlier about, you work here now and you sleep in the guest house or whatever. And he was just like, he has a lot on his mind. And then he tells her, I'm about to go to a meeting. And she was like, what? Now? And he says yes, and he talks about just working from the office with Carter, but then he tells Quinn, I'm about to go to a meeting, I have an appointment right now. And she's like, okay. So she leans in for a kiss, and he kisses her on her cheek and leaves. And Carter said, is everything okay? And she just says, yeah, I mean, he's just worried. First it was everything with Brooke and Ridge, and now everything going on with Steffi. He's just really worried. So she talks to Carter, and she just tells him she doesn't think he'll ever forgive her, or their relationship will be what it was before she had the affair with him. And, Carter's just there to listen and to support her. I said, so are y'all trying to make them I don't know if they try to make Carter and Quinn go together again. I don't know. Truth be told, for a Monday, it wasn't that great of an episode. It was solid. I would have to give it like a 6. It was a 6. So then we go back, and Sheila went up in Steffi's room because, Ridge took Taylor to get coffee. So that leaves Sheila with the opportunity. And Sheila starts thinking back on everything, like what went down in the alley, Finn being there. And that's another thing she told Baker. Finn wasn't supposed to be there and all that. And like, girl, would you please stop saying your thoughts out loud? So she said he wasn't supposed to be there, and she starts thinking back when she was with Steffi. She starts thinking about thinking back to how she shot Finn and how Steffi told her, you're a monster. Everyone's going to know what you did, and all that. And she doesn't want Steffi to remember, so now she's about to mess with her machines. And that was the Bold and the Beautiful today, guys. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to see me for another episode. I'll see you guys for the Bold and the Beautiful tomorrow. Bye.